Hey guys, Mike Sumsky here with Washington Home Solutions, and I'm very excited to talk to you a little bit about internet marketing for real estate investors. Specifically how to use the internet and your website and social media and email marketing to make more money in real estate, or to buy your first house, or to do more deals. Whatever stage of investor you are at right now, I'd like to try to help you out. So it's going to be, I could speak forever on this topic, but we kind of got a short time here. So I want to do an overview, but enough to get you started. And hopefully over time I'll be able to provide you some more education on this. But, a little bit about me. Here is a very unflattering photo of me doing my best Napoleon Dynamite impersonation. I like to have a little fun. You can't take yourself too seriously. Here is a little better photo of me and my beautiful wife Jessica. We live in Bremerton, Washington, and been an investor for about 7 or 8 years. Here's a photo of our two kids, our dogs that are doing their yoga in the morning. They're always making sure they get their exercise in. But anyway, I'm just a regular guy. I started learning investing quite a while ago, but I'll tell you what, I struggled starting out. I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't really taking action on what I was learning, and in fact, it took me over 2 years for me to finally get my first deal. And since then, I started to really educate myself, but more importantly, I took action on the things I learned. And from there on, it was just house after house after house. In fact, I've done probably around 85 deals over that time frame. But the most important thing is that you can do this too. There's nothing special about me. Again, I just learned over time, and I implemented, and I really would like to be able to help you to do the same and maybe learn from the mistakes that I've made, because I've made a lot of them. But anyway, specifically, let's getting back to this internet marketing thing. Here's a little bit about what we're going to cover today. Why should you use the internet? We'll kind of go over, the reasons that you should be online, and setting up a website. That's a scary thing for a lot of people, especially if you're someone who is kind of considers themselves a technophobe. Some of the thoughts of setting up a website and doing all that, it might seem too technical. Well, I'm going to try to simplify it, and it's really not that difficult. And you definitely can get help in the areas that you might need it. So, bear with me a little bit here. Setting up a website is just one thing, but if no one actually sees it, it kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm going to talk a little bit about driving traffic and actually getting people to see your page. And then once they're on your page, how do you take that website visitor and convert them into a lead, so that you can follow up with them and turn that lead into a deal. And then we'll also talk about social media. Social media is a big buzzword now. The Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that sort of thing. There's a reason why it's become so popular, is because social media is something that you can use within your real estate investment business to really help you do more deals. And then I'm going to talk about the $63,400 email that I sent. And this kind of ties in with what I'm talking about, and just it goes to show you that proper use of the internet and email and social media and all that, it definitely does pay off. So anyway, let's get started. So why should we use the internet? Why is it important? Well, frankly, that is where your prospects are. If someone's looking to buy or sell a house, right now I think the statistics say like 85 or 90% at least are using the web in their search for a home, when either buying or selling. And you need leads to be successful. One of the challenges that a lot of people get starting out, and even seasoned investors, is that a lot of ways for driving leads into your business, buyer seller leads, involve spending a lot of money. So direct mail or newspaper ads, all those things cost money, and the return on investment is good. If you do it right, you're going to get paid back a lot more than you actually spend. But a lot of people don't have a great marketing budget to bring in leads, and so they wonder why they never do any deals. Well, the internet is very inexpensive. So it definitely helps you if you're just getting started, or you need to run a lean business where you just unfortunately don't have the money to put into the business for getting leads. Well, then you got to do a little bit of work to get those leads coming in, but the internet is a great way to do it on the cheap. And then also it can be automated. So you can set up systems online that allow you to capture leads from website visitors and follow up with them automatically, and kind of develop that trust and relationship and rapport with that prospect. And you can set it on autopilot, so even if you're asleep or you're on vacation, you can let your website do the work for you. And I really believe it's practically essential. You don't want to get left behind. The technology is changing so quickly that if you don't embrace the new changing technology, you can be sure that your competitor will, and it's gonna make it that much harder in the future to compete if you're not doing these things. So what are the things you can do online? Well, you can find motivated sellers and have them find you. So when I talk about finding motivated sellers, I mean, it could be something as simple as going to Craigslist online and looking for people that have advertised their home for sale, but you can also have them find you. Let me ask you a question. Do people with problems search online? Well, of course, it's a rhetorical question, but if you've got someone that has a house that they need to sell, or they want to buy a home, but or they have any other problem, they're going to search Google. They're going to try to find a solution to their challenge. And when it comes to real estate, if they're searching for an answer to a problem involving real estate, well, you want to be one of the people that they find. So what do they search for? Well, maybe somebody has a house that they're in foreclosure, and they want to learn, how do I stop a foreclosure, or is there short sale specialists in Seattle, or whatever. You got to kind of put yourself in the mind of your prospect and find out what do they search for, and figure out the ways that you can get your website to show up when they're trying to find a solution to their challenge. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that. You can also use your website to build credibility for your business. Now, the web is a great equalizer. So you can be a one-person operation just getting started, and you can set up a good website that really makes you look like you're a professional, been doing this forever. And it definitely helps level the playing field. You don't have to have years of experience to look like you've got years of experience. So you can build credibility online. You can also use your website to sell houses, and a little bit later on I'm going to give you a pretty good checklist of things that you can do when you get a house that you're looking to sell, and how you can effectively do that online. And then one of the best ways to use the internet is to actually build a buyer's list. So let's talk about wholesaling for a little bit. A lot of people that get started in real estate, they get started as wholesalers. And even if you're a seasoned investor, you probably will use wholesaling as part of your business to be able to flip properties quickly, even though you don't actually take title to them. So for those of you that are brand new and don't know what wholesaling is, it's basically where you find a great deal and you get a contract to purchase that house that you sign with the seller. Now, instead of you actually closing on that property, what you can do is you can assign that agreement to another investor for a slightly higher price, or an assignment fee. And you can get paid, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or more just for assigning your paperwork to a new buyer. And you don't even ever have to take title. You don't need any of your credit. You don't need any money to do that. And you can make a fairly good living as just as a real estate wholesaler. And the two things that are going to determine your success as a wholesaler is the quality and the quantity of the deals that you can get, and also the quality and the quantity of your buyers list. So how many people do you have that you can flip this deal to? And the bigger and better quality of your buyers list, the easier it is to be able to flip properties and make money. So I want to show you how you can actually build your buyers list on autopilot and really improve your opportunities to make money as a wholesaler. All right, so step one, we got to plant your flag. Now that's basically getting a website, and I think that everyone should have a website. Whether you're a full-time investor, definitely have to have a website. But even if you're just a part-time investor, it's so easy to get a website set up. It's cheaper than you think, and it will make you money. So even if you're not a full-time investor, it's good to have a website, because this is a way that you're going to be able to bring in leads for your business and save yourself a lot of time. If you have a full-time job, you're not going to have the opportunity to spend as much time on your real estate business as you might like. And so let your website do the work for you. Now, speaking of done for you, there are several done-for-you websites for real estate investors. There's some companies and websites called FreedomSoft, Open Road, or Investor Pro. Now, these are websites that have been specifically designed for real estate investors, and there's quite a bunch of features in these. Now, the advantage is the setup is quick. So if you subscribe to one of these sites, you can actually, within a day, have a fully functioning website. In fact, sometimes multiple websites that you'll be able to attract leads online, buyer and seller leads. And most of these also contain a back office, so like an admin section of the page where you're able to track the leads that come in and get information about the properties that people have to sell, and kind of more or less run your business from the website. They also often contain an email marketing module, which allows you to communicate with those prospects through sequential emails that allow you to kind of establish trust and rapport and build a relationship with your database. And we'll talk more about that as well. Now, one of the disadvantages of some of these done-for-you websites is the cost. Now, a lot of these will cost you, $500, $1,000, maybe $2,000 to get set up, and then you're usually paying a monthly service fee that may be $100 or $200 a month to run. Now, I say the disadvantage of cost, and I put in parentheses maybe, because if you were to try to duplicate the website and have somebody set up a website from scratch that looks and works like these done-for-you sites, it's going to cost you a lot more money. I mean, a ton more money to do that. So whether or not you actually need all that functionality starting out, that's be a determination of whether you want to plunk down $1,000 and $100 a month or so to have one of these websites run. Now, there's a lot of really good ones here, but we'll show you how to do it a little cheaper if you're kind of just getting started or you want to do this on your own. Another disadvantage potentially of this is some limited flexibility. So you're not going to be able to have the website look like anything in any way you want. They're going to have some templates that you're going to be able to work with, and you can have the website set up so your site doesn't look like one of another competitor's site that might be using the same system. So you do have some flexibility, but you don't have full flexibility. And then also, I say longevity could be a concern. Now, what I mean by this is that these are proprietary website systems, and down the line, if any one of these companies goes out of business or changes or what have you, you could definitely lose your whole site. And so the ones I mentioned above, they're pretty well established, and everything I know about them is they're probably going to be around for a while, but you never know. So that could be a disadvantage. Now, The other way to go about this is actually the way that I do, is a do-it-yourself method. Now, if you're kind of on a tighter budget, or you like the idea of being able to custom create a site and work it off of a template, so you're not actually starting completely from scratch, but you can do a do-it-yourself page. Now, I've listed a few here, like WordPress, Squarespace, Blogger, Drupal, iNet USA. iNet USA is actually what I have been using, which I'm going to be switching off to a WordPress site. I'll talk about that in a bit, but most of these here are actually blog websites. So WordPress is one of the largest. So I'm going to talk a lot about that. And what WordPress allows you to do is to actually set up a website. You know, whether it's not necessarily real estate specific, but it does have modules that allow you to create good real estate websites. And if you're using a WordPress site, there are two options. You can either have a hosted site or self-hosted. Now let me explain the difference. A hosted website is one that WordPress actually hosts for you. So they have all all your files and all the information are stored on the WordPress servers, and you get a WordPress website domain name, which is a little bit funky. It's going to have WordPress.com in it. So for example, I have wahomesolutions.wordpress.com. Now I don't actually have this website, but if you were to set up a hosted site through WordPress, you could do it for absolutely free, but you'd kind of have this funky domain name. And you also have some limited functionality when it comes to custom creating your site. So the way I recommend is to actually have a self-hosted site. Now, try not to get bogged down in the terms I'm going to be saying here, but basically a self-hosted site is one where you can actually have a custom domain name. So with, like, my website is wahomesolutions.com, and that's my website address that I picked out by going to a website, a registrar. So like GoDaddy.com, Hover.com, or HostGator.com, and there are others out there. You can actually go and you can search for a custom domain name and register that. So for instance, you know, name your city, so like SeattleHouseBuyers.com or you know, shortsaleexperts.com or whatever it is. You create a domain name, you search and see if that domain is available, and you can register that domain name. That basically gives you some real estate on the web. And once you have your domain registered, you will actually pay a hosting company, usually no more than about $8 a month, to host your site. That basically the website host stores all your files online, and they have all their servers that store all the information for your site. Now I use HostGator.com, but there's others like Bluehost, and there's oneandone.com. And let me kind of show you what the HostGator site looks like. Alright, we're here on HostGator, and as you can see, it's very, very inexpensive to host a website. They've got a few options. They have this hatchling plan, which gives you one domain, and it's under $4 a month. And then for a few dollars more, you can actually get what they call the baby plan, which has unlimited domains. And you know, like I said, under $7 a month, and you can have as many websites as you want, and as much space, you know, disk space and bandwidth as you want. Under $7. This is the one I recommend, because you may want to have more than one website for your real estate business. And they also have a business plan, which for me is not, you know, I don't need it. But you know, go to HostGator and use their hosting service. I really like it a lot. That's what I use. I recommend. So let's get back to the presentation here. Now, the advantages of the do-it-yourself is that, you know, like I said, it can be very inexpensive or even free. The websites are highly customizable, so there's a ton of templates, and they're constantly adding new themes and templates that allow you to create a very custom website. And there are also things called plugins, which are little like modules and widgets within your website that allow you to have additional functionality. and we'll talk about that in a bit too. So disadvantage, there is some setup required. So this is not just a website in a box where you're going to be able to get going within a couple hours, but it's not that difficult to set up a website. And let me just tell you this, you don't have to do any of the technical stuff yourself. So if you're one of those people that is a little scared around computers, don't worry at all. There's actually several websites out there that will allow you to hire someone very inexpensively to help you set up your page. Now, elance.com or odesk.com are both sites where you can go and you can create a job that people will bid on. And you say, hey, I'm looking to get my WordPress website set up for my real estate business. And as long as you kind of have an idea for what you want, people will actually bid on what it'll cost to actually get that site set up. And a lot of these sites can be set up for less than $100. Now, another interesting website that I've listed here is Fiverr.com, and I've got a question mark here, so let's just take a look. All right, so we're here at Fiverr.com, and Fiverr is a website that people will do just about anything for $5, and they'll actually do a lot of computer stuff for you, WordPress related, that sort of thing. Very, very cheap. Now, this is kind of a use at your own risk one. These providers have not been vetted as much as, say, on Elance or Odesk, and so for actual website work, this might not be the place that I would recommend going. But you can actually have a lot of things like graphics or video. You can have people design your logo for $5. Other types of jobs that aren't as easy to mess up. This is just a place, a resource that you can have to do things like that on the cheap. And when you actually set up your page, you want to have very clear content. The website visitor should know right away when they go to your site, what do you do and what is the benefit that they can get from you and your company. So you also want to have an opt-in form. So I'm going to show you an example of an opt-in form in a bit here, but basically it's a way for the website visitor to give you their name and email address in exchange for some information or something else of value. And you definitely want to have an easy way for them to contact you, or a phone number, a form that can fill out that they can contact you, maybe your email address. However you want to be contacted by a prospect, make sure that's very clear on your website. Okay, so why I'm moving to WordPress. Now, I said earlier that I've got my current site, which is not a WordPress site, but I'm now migrating my site to WordPress. There's several reasons for this, and this is why I recommend it. Now, one, WordPress is always up to date and ready for new technology. So as technology changes, WordPress and the developers are adding new functionality to take advantage of these changes. And it really plays well with everything. So, Facebook and social media and all of that, it works really well with WordPress sites. Now, the other thing, and very, very, very important, is content. So WordPress sites are very search engine friendly. And what I mean by that is that the content that you add to your WordPress site, Google finds it very fast. The pages and posts that you create are indexed almost immediately. So when you put a new page or you add a post or blog post to your website, your WordPress site, Google will find that new page or post and will index it so that people searching for that particular topic have a chance to find your page. And there are an abundance of plugins and tools and widgets and everything that you can use to really make your website shine. So let's take a look at my new website that I'm going to be migrating over to. Alright, so this is going to be my new website. I'm still working on it, but this is a WordPress site. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that there's a lot of content on this page. When somebody visits the website, they can see over here, buy a home now without bank qualifying a large down payment. Rent to own your dream home now. So I do a lot of rent to own, lease option homes, and somebody visiting a site right away can see good information, provide valuable content. I've got an opt-in box over here for people to leave their name and email. I'm also offering something of value for them to exchange for their name and email. And I have other widgets like this Facebook widget in my properties. And I'll talk about this a little bit more. But by having WordPress as my site, I'm going to be able to be better listed with Google based on having lots of content on my page. Now, of course, a WordPress site usually will have an integrated blog. Now, a blog is a part of the page which allows you to create brand new content on a regular basis, so that you always have, by having fresh content on your page instead of just static content that never changes, but by adding new content, that's something that Google and the search engines really like. And so you're much more likely to show up on Google when people search for whatever topic your website is about. By having new content, it's going to allow you to show up higher in the search engines. Okay, now in addition to your regular website, every investor should also create a squeeze page. Now, a squeeze page is a website page that has just one goal, and that's to get an email opt-in. So you want a website visitor to go to your page and to leave their name and email address in exchange for information. So you want to trade something of value for their email, and that item of value might be a free report or an ebook. It could be a video, maybe a video training, or a lot of times in real estate, the squeeze page will have give the website visitor an opportunity to be added to your VIP early notification list. So if you're a wholesaler and that you get really good deals, you could convince the website visitor that, hey, if you give me your email address, I will add you to be one of my VIPs, so I'll send you those deals straight to your email box. So let me give you a quick example of what a squeeze page looks like that I have set up for my VIP early notification list. Okay, here is a squeeze page. Now I've got a little video that actually, when you load the page, this video plays.
Hey guys, this is Mike Sumsky with Washington Homes.
And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but essentially what I've got is a video of me in front of a house that I actually just wholesaled. This is a property that I flipped to another investor, and he was able to buy it at less than 50% of the tax assessed value. And I explained in the video that if the website visitor wants to get notified of deals like this, that they can enter their email address in the form below and get instant access to those deals. So this page has no other intent except to get the email address of the website visitor. So this is a way that I can add somebody to my buyers list automatically just by having them go to my website page. Okay, and how do we get people to go to your website page? So let's talk about that a little bit. So getting traffic to your website. Now, there's several different ways that people actually will go to your website. One is direct traffic. That's essentially where they will type in your URL directly into the browser. So they'll type in your website address directly into the browser. And usually they'll do this because they've come from your other marketing. So if you've got your website on your business card or any direct mail you send or newspaper ads, those are going to be main reasons that people will actually type in the specific website address. Now, you'll also get website traffic from other websites. So for instance, Craigslist. Craigslist is an excellent place for you to uh, get traffic going from Craigslist to your site. So you could post an ad on Craigslist that says that you pay cash for houses, you buy houses quickly, and within that ad, if you put a link directly to your website, then people that are interested in selling their house quickly can click the link and then they'll head to your page. So whether that's your main website or a squeeze page like I just showed you, that is one source of traffic for your page. Now social media is another. Now we'll talk about the Facebooks and everything in a bit, but that's a great source of traffic, is your social media pages, your Twitter and Facebook page and LinkedIn. And then another website that people will often go to, they can go to your website from, is article sites. So in addition to creating content in your blog, there are article sites. If you type in ezine.com, ezine.com, or search for article websites on Google, you can create content that you can publish on these article sites, and including your domain name, your website address at the bottom of the article. When people search Google for whatever problem that you can solve, if you can create an article that talks about how you can solve the problem, it can show up in Google and people can have that link directly to your site, so you can get website traffic from an article site. So you might want to search article marketing on Google to get more information about it. We just don't have enough time to talk about that right here because we're just doing a kind of glossing over a lot of this stuff, but really don't have a lot of time going in depth. All right, now search engine optimization. This is the biggie. Okay, this is where you can let people find your website organically. And what I mean by that is if they go to Google and they search for, how to avoid foreclosure, or how to sell a home fast in Seattle, or whatever they're going to search for, you want your website to show up in those searches as search results so that they can come to your page. Now, when you're trying to get good search engine optimization, you don't want to try to compete with the websites, the big guys I say, that would show up if you type, say, sell house quick. If you type in sell house quick into Google, the first page of Google is going to be loaded with websites that are very, very well established. So these sites are going to be very difficult to beat in Google because they've been very well established. They've been around a long time. They've got lots and lots of content, and it's just too big of a competitor to try to compete with. Now, you don't necessarily want people going to your website if you live in Seattle, but somebody is typing, sell house quick, but they want to sell a house quickly in Florida. They don't want you to find your page anyway. So you want to focus on getting good search engine optimizations for people that search locally. So for instance, somebody types in rent to own Port Orchard. Now that is a much more localized search. It's much easier to get listed on the first page of Google on a search term like rent to own Port Orchard than it is to say just rent to own. And the way that you can show up for these keyword searches is to put content on your page that is very relevant to that search term. So if you want to have people that find your page that are searching for rent to own in Port Orchard, you want to have lots of blog posts and content on your page that talks about rent to own homes in Port Orchard, for example. And that's why you want to have a blog, because the blog is going to allow you to create regular, fresh content that can help your page, your website, show up in Google searches. And this is why I like to do video. Now this is kind of my big secret. So in addition to articles that you can put on your site, that have information about, say rent to own Port Orchard or rent to own Bremerton, I like to do lots of video. Okay, so we're here in Google. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of somebody who's looking for a rent to own home in Bremerton. If I'm looking for a rent to own home in Bremerton, I might go into Google and type rent to own Bremerton. All right, now when I do that, here are the results. Now we notice there's a web page right here, #1 on Google, but look at this. There are four of the next 4 sites are all videos, and this just happens to show my 4 videos. All 4 of these are ones that I've published, and Google has inserted these videos in the search results. Now look at 4 out of the very first 5 listings are stuff that I've put up. Now if you click on any one of these, it's going to go to a video and information about a rent-to-own home. So it is so much easier to get listed in Google by using video than it sometimes is by just having a regular blog post. When you create a video, you want to title your video something that is very keyword relevant to the search terms that you want to show up on Google. And also in your descriptions, you also want to include relevant keywords as well. So let's talk a little bit more about video. Okay, so what can we use video for? Well, like in my previous example there with the Google page that had 4 of my videos, all 4 of those videos I had created to actually sell a house. And I uploaded the video to YouTube, and I created a keyword specific title and description, and so those videos showed up when we typed rent to own Bremerton. Now I could have just as easily created a video that gives just some regular good content, some education, maybe how does a rent to own work. I could have created a video on how rent to own works, or how to avoid foreclosure, or how to sell a house quickly in Tacoma or something. You can create a video on anything and upload it and get good Google traffic. It's all dependent on your ability to create keyword specific titles and descriptions in your video. And you can also use video to build trust and credibility. I like to put myself in front of the camera so that my prospect can kind of get to know me as a real person instead of just some company, some no-name company, and who knows who this person is. But if I can get in front of the camera and they can see my face, I can hopefully build up trust and credibility. And if someone knows, likes, and trusts you, they're much more likely to do business with you. Now you don't have to have a fancy camera to do video. On the screen here are 3 examples of video cameras that you can use. Now at the top here is a flip camcorder. Now flip is actually no longer going to be in business, but you can find a lot of these cameras on Craigslist or eBay, and you can get them for under $100. And what it is a simple video camera that shoots high quality video and allows you just to plug the camera right directly into a laptop or computer and upload the video directly to a video sharing site like YouTube. Most digital cameras also have a video function. So if you've got a digital camera, there's likely a function on it will allow you to use that camera to take video. And then of course, digital camcorders are very inexpensive, and you can use that to create video. And also, a smartphone like an iPhone or Android or any one of the smartphones typically will take very high quality, even high definition video. And when you do these videos, you actually don't have to be in front of the camera. So just like I've created this training, I'm doing a screencast of a keynote presentation or PowerPoint presentation. This is a video that I can upload, and I'm probably going to get some Google traffic for people that search for internet marketing for real estate. But for the most part, I'm not even actually in front of the camera. You're just seeing this presentation. Now, once you take a video, how do you get it to the web? Well, YouTube, Vimeo, Vidler, those are major video sharing sites that makes it very easy for you to upload a video. So once you have the video from your camera, you can put it onto your computer. If you go onto any one of these video sites, you're able to upload that video directly to the video to the YouTube or Vimeo or Vidler, and it goes right onto the internet. Or there's a website called tubemogul.com. Now, tubemogul.com is a video syndication site. What's nice about this is if you go to TubeMogul, you're able to enter your credentials for dozens of video sites out there. And once you've entered all your credentials and set up your account, you can do this for free. The next time you go to upload a video, just upload it to TubeMogul, and TubeMogul will automatically upload it to all these separate video sites. Now, the more video sharing sites that you can upload your video to, the more likely it is that your web page will show up in Google. Now, also, let's talk about real estate websites like Zillow and Trulia and Redfin. Now, these are all sites that give information about houses that are for sale, pretty much any house. If you type in an address to any one of these houses, it's going to give information about how many beds and baths it is, what that site feels that the house is worth, and if you've got a house to sell, you want to upload information about the house for sale to these real estate sites. And just like how TubeMogul for video will syndicate your video out to several different websites, there are real estate sites such as RealBird, VFly, or Postlets that you can create a listing for a property you're looking to sell, and it will automatically send that property out to all these major sites like Zillow, Redfin, and Trulia. Now, in addition to loading properties on these websites, most of these real estate websites also allow you to blog on the real estate website. So you can create blog posts on these sites to establish your expertise. You can post articles on how to sell a house fast, or how to avoid foreclosure, or the intricacies of a short sale. And by showing your expertise on these real estate websites, you're going to help to build your credibility as an investor. Okay, now let's talk about Craigslist. Craigslist is an excellent place that you can, excellent website you can use to sell your homes. If you've got a house to sell, you definitely want to be on Craigslist, because a lot of people looking to buy property, whether it's somebody looking just to purchase a home, if it's an investor looking for a deal, or someone who might be a good rent-to-own candidate, you definitely want to be on Craigslist. Now, you can also use Craigslist to find sellers. So obviously people are listing their homes for sale, so you want to respond to those ads, try to find motivated sellers. You also use Craigslist to build your buyers list. So you're trying to find a buyers list of investors or rent-to-own buyers. Craigslist is a great place to get people to see your ad and go to your website. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, the first thing you want to do over Craigslist is you actually want to set up an account. You can post to Craigslist without setting up an account, but by setting an account up, you're going to be able to save all of your Craigslist ads, so that after they expire or at a later date, you can just repost the ad very quickly and easily without having to type out the whole thing again. Now, you want to be placing ads in Craigslist that will have links to your website or squeeze page. So, for instance, let's say that you have a house that you want to sell. You're going to want to set up an ad on Craigslist describing the house, and then instead of just having them contact you through the Craigslist ad by putting your phone number or having them respond by email, I like to have a link to my website page so that I can get them off of Craigslist and onto my website or squeeze page. And any ad that you put, you want to have an eye-grabbing headline. With Craigslist, it's sometimes difficult to get your ad noticed because there's so many other ads on Craigslist. So you want to have an eye-grabbing headline, and then you want to make the 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 ad compelling. There's got to be a reason for that person to want to contact you or click through to your website. And you also want to use good keywords. Now we're going to talk about all of this. These are all the things that you can use to have success by making Craigslist ads. Let's go take a look at a Craigslist ad right now. Okay, so we're actually on a Craigslist ad that I have created. Now this is for a property that I'm trying to sell on Craigslist. And let's just start up at the top. Here is our headline. Now the headline, I have these 3 diamonds, and it says rent to own, bad credit okay, remodeled view home in Bremerton. So let's take a look at this. Why do I have these diamonds here? Well, let's go back. If I were to search for rent to own, this is the ads that come up for rent to own. So I'm just pretending that I am a buyer looking for rent to own home. They might type rent to own. Well, if we scroll down, there's a lot of ads that people have listed for rent to own. Now notice here, there's a few ads that kind of stand out. Here's one with diamonds. Here's also one with these hearts. Now, your eye is naturally attracted to that headline, and these 2 ads are mine. And this is another investor that knows how to use symbols in the ads in order to attract attention. Now, there are some keyboard shortcuts you can use to create these diamonds or hearts. You can search online to try to find out how to do that, or one simple way is if you want to create an ad, you can actually just copy the diamonds and then paste them into your own ad. So let's go back in here again. Now let me show you a couple interesting things. I've made a very compelling ad. This is actually what looks to be a YouTube video where people, when they see this, like to click it. Now if they actually click on this video, it's not really a video, it's actually an image of a video. And I'll probably have a training that's available that's going to show you how to do these clickable video ads. But essentially what I did is I uploaded a photo of a video player to Craigslist, and then I used some very simple code in the ad so that when they click on this video, it'll take them to my web page. So let's click through, and bam, it's going to my web page. Now that they're on my web page, they can actually watch the video.
Hey guys, Mike Sumsky with Washington Home Solutions.
All right, we'll stop that and get all the information they need about the house. And again, look at it, I've got an opt-in form for them to sign up for my early notification list. So this page is set up very well for not only driving traffic from Craigslist, but also to get people to encourage them to opt into my early notification list. And then I also have a form down below where they can contact me if they're interested in the property. Let's go back to this ad again. Now we talked about keywords. If somebody types in rent to own Bremerton, I want them to find my ad. So I've had the words rent to own, and I have the word Bremerton in here. What if somebody types the word lease option? Well, if somebody types the word lease option, I want them to come to my ad as well. So down below I've put a few keywords that are terms that they might be searching for. So lease options in here. I did lease purchase, owner finance, seller financing. This is Kitsap. This is the county that the house is in. And here's a couple nearby cities. So if they're looking for a home in one of these nearby cities, I want the ad to pop up. And so I've just added these keywords to the bottom of the ad so that people can find them when they search for Craigslist. Okay, now it's time to talk about social media. This is where the Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn come to play. And it's going to be very important for your real estate business to incorporate social media as another way to be able to build credibility, to generate leads, and to do more deals. So let's talk about Facebook. Now, Facebook is the granddaddy of them all. Right now, we are at about 700 million people that have Facebook accounts. That's incredible. And I would venture to say a very large percentage of the United States population actually has Facebook accounts. And people are spending now more time on Facebook on some days than they do on Google or any other website out there. I'd say Facebook gets a majority of the traffic. Now, in order to understand a little bit about Facebook, you have to understand the difference between a profile versus a page. Now, individuals have Facebook profiles. That's your individual page that has all your information and all your posts and all your friends and photos and all that. If you're going to have a business represented on Facebook, you want to create a page. Now, in order to create a page, you have to do your profile first. But your page will consist of all the information about your business and your business's Facebook status updates and photos and all that. I'm going to kind of assume that you know a little bit about Facebook, that you probably have a Facebook account. But just as a quick little overview, let's take a look at my Facebook page. This is my Facebook page for my business. Now, I've named it Washington Home Solutions Rent to Own Homes and Investments. I've kind of done some keyword tricks in here so that if somebody sees any post I make, they're going to see that I have rent to own homes and investments. They may be more intrigued about clicking in and seeing what my page is all about. Now, this is my Facebook wall. This is where I will post videos and status updates. I'll post all my properties on here. And the wall is basically where you're putting out all your information. Anybody that likes your Facebook page will see your status updates on their wall. Now, actually, if you are not a fan of my web page, if you go to if you're not a fan of my Facebook page and you go to my Facebook company page the very first time, you're actually going to land on this Welcome tab. Now, most businesses haven't created a Welcome tab, but it's very important. So let's just say that I directed you to my Facebook page for the very first time. You're going to see this. It's this image that I created, and it's actually funny. I made this in Microsoft Word, and I created an image out of it. A little bit. It's pretty easy to do, actually. It looks kind of complicated, but it's not that difficult. But this welcome page is a place that actually gives somebody a reason to like your page. So I've set it up so that normally, if you're going to there for the very first time, there's going to be a like button up here. And I say, all right, step 1, click the like button above to get instant updates and rent-to-own information. And then plus you'll hear about new local rent-to-own homes before they're advertised to the public. So that's an incentive to like the page. Now step 2, I said you can also download this free report. It's reserved for friends and fans only. Now this is a free report that I created. Kind of think about like that squeeze page. I created a free report where I'm going to encourage them to download it, and if they click on this this link, they're going to be taken to my web page where they can trade their email address for this free report. So let's just go and click on it, and there we go. They can actually trade their email address for this free report. So that is what a welcome page looks like on a Facebook fan page. So you might want to contact me, or I'm going to try to probably create a video that shows you how to make one of these in the future. But if you don't have a welcome page, then you definitely want to get one. All right, now Facebook ads. haven't used Facebook ads yet, but Facebook ads are a great way for you to drive traffic to your Facebook fan page or to your website. What's nice about ads, these are paid ads, so you would actually pay Facebook so you can have an ad that shows up on Facebook page, and you can target your ads to certain demographics. So if you're trying to build a buyer's list and you're looking for investors that are in your city or in your in your state or city or close to where you do business, you can actually have your Facebook ads show up only on people that say that they like investing and that live in, these 3 cities. So Facebook ads are a great way for you to build a buyer's list and to drive traffic to your website. And then also, Facebook allows you to put like buttons or like boxes on your website itself. If we go to my page, remember this is a page that we had that had a video of a house I was selling. Now take a look on the right side here. This is called a Facebook like box. This is for my company, and what this is I've put this on my web page. Facebook gives you some simple code you can use to put this on your web page. But what's nice about this is it shows all the bunch of people that actually like your page, and it adds some credibility and some social proof. So if there's somebody that's visiting my page for the very first time and they're scrolling down and they see, oh, find us on Facebook, and they look at all these people that like my company, well, this kind of gives me some credibility, because this website visitor goes, oh, okay, this guy must be okay because he's got all these people that like his page. And in fact, if this person is on Facebook, has a Facebook account, then it's very likely that if one of their friends likes my page, that one of their friends' pictures will actually show up in this list. So a Facebook like box on your website is a very good addition to your page, which can add some credibility. Now on my new web page, you can also see that I've got my Facebook like box on that as well. Okay, now let's talk about Twitter. Twitter is also another important social media tool. And basically what Twitter is, it's similar to Facebook, where if you create status updates, anybody that follows your updates will see them in your news feed or their Twitter feed. What's important about Twitter is that you can actually find and follow other local investors that also use Twitter. So there's a website called Twello.com. Now it's kind of like the Twitter yellow pages. And when you go there, you can actually search for people that say that they're investors, and you can also search locally. So you can say you want anybody that is an investor in, say, Seattle or something. You can go and find local investors that you can follow. And oftentimes, if you follow someone, they, through reciprocity, will want to follow you back. In fact, sometimes they will automatically follow you back. Now, if you get other investors to follow you, then they would see your Twitter updates in their Twitter feed, and that means that you can advertise properties on Twitter. You can communicate directly with the people that are following you on Twitter, and that's really important too, because you can take them from Twitter and see about getting them onto your email list. So one strategy is, if you have people following you on Twitter, if you are to send them a direct message, maybe you can offer them an incentive for them to go to your website and opt into your email list. So that's another way that you can get people from Twitter to your email list, so you can wholesale properties to, or whatnot. And so that's what we call turning Twitter followers into email subscribers. Now, search engines are actually starting to include tweets in the search results. So by constantly updating your Twitter feed, especially if your Twitter posts are keyword relevant, there's a chance that those Twitter posts or Twitter status updates will actually show up in Google under the social search. Now LinkedIn is yet another social media site. Now LinkedIn is typically more of a professional site for business people. Generally, the demographic of LinkedIn is a higher income level. And just like Facebook, you will establish a profile, And instead of making friends, you make connections. And LinkedIn is a great place to connect to other real estate investors. So this is again for being able to build up a buyer's list, finding investors that are local that are buying and selling real estate. You can connect with them. Now, another thing that LinkedIn allows you to do is to join and also to start your own LinkedIn groups. Now, groups are pretty powerful because if you get a lot of people to join a group, say on real estate investing, maybe you can set up a local real estate investing group, then you're actually able to send an email directly to the group, and I think you can do it maybe once a week, I believe, but that email will go directly to their inbox, so it has a high open rate, and you can use this to be able to wholesale properties, to make partnerships. You can just to network. LinkedIn is a great tool for networking in real estate. All right, now let's talk about nurturing relationships a little bit. So you've set up your website, you've got some good content online, you've got an opt-in form or a squeeze page that allows you to trade good information and good content in exchange for the website visitor's email address. Now we have to focus on developing follow-up campaigns so we can stay in contact on a regular basis with those email subscribers, those new leads. You see, let's say that you had a seller come to your page and you offered them a free report on how to sell a house quickly in today's market in exchange for their email address. Well, ultimately your goal may be to be able to buy their home. The first time that they go to the website, they haven't had a chance to really get to know you too much. But if you're able to follow up with that person over time through regular emails, then you're going to start to be able to build more trust, to give more information, and make it more likely that they're going to know, like, and trust you so that they're more willing to do business with you. So a follow-up procedure that it's very good to have for your email list is, number one, to always have a newsletter. So a newsletter is an email that you can send out that's got good information, maybe some updates about what's going on in your company. You can offer some tips or tricks or anything that your prospect would find valuable. If you're selling homes, then your newsletter can also include homes that you have for sale. But the newsletter is really a good tool to provide value for your list. You want to be able to send this out on a regular basis. Now, another way to nurture relationships is by continuing to do good blog posts on your website, and then also emailing your list to let them know that you've updated your site with a new blog post. So providing, again, more content, and the idea is to give good content, again, to establish that relationship. Now, one of the things that you can do is to actually set up an email autoresponder so that you can create multiple emails in advance that can be set up to automatically get sent to your prospect over time on a schedule that you've created so that you can nurture these relationships on autopilot. So for example, what if you're able to create a series of 5 or 10 emails that would go out every week or every other week that would establish good value, establish rapport, and provide content to your new email subscriber and have it done on autopilot? Well, that's what you can use certain programs like Aweber or Constant Contact, iContact, GetResponse, or Infusionsoft. These are all web-based programs that allow you to create a series of emails that can get sent out on an automated schedule over time. Now, ideally, you'd have these going out on a regular basis for several months or a year or more, and hopefully, if you're trying to develop a relationship and nurture a relationship with a seller, by the 5th or 6th time they hear from you, you're going to be at top of mind when they're really interested in selling. So following up is so important, and if you can do it on autopilot, that's even better. Let me tell you a quick story. This is the $63,400 email. So this is an email that I sent to a seller. Originally, I had met with this seller a couple summers ago, and this is the house. It needed a bunch of fix-up. It had been inherited, and I met with this particular seller to make an offer. After making the offer, the seller didn't really like the offer. It was too low for him at the time, and so I didn't end up buying the house. Well, fast forward almost a year, and I was going through my old emails, and I saw this guy's email, and I thought, oh my goodness, I need to send him an email to find out if maybe he's sold the house or if he's still interested. So I sent him this email, and pretty much I said, hey, we had met last fall at the house, and I said at the time I had bought another property, and it was kind of a big remodel, so I wasn't ready to take another project. But I said, I'm finished with that one, and I'm in the market to buy another home. Are you still interested in selling? Well, lo and behold, he was. He emailed me back, and he said, yeah, let's meet. I went over, and this time the seller was even more motivated to sell, so he actually accepted my offer. It turned out to be even a lower offer than previous, and I was able to go through, turn this house into this by doing a nice remodel. And here is a photo of the inside before, and did a really nice email, or did a really nice remodel, and ended up selling it pretty quickly and made over $63,000. Now, let me ask you a few questions. What if I would have never followed up? Well, certainly if I wouldn't have followed up, I wouldn't have made $63,000, And now, gosh, I think, how many other deals have I missed because I didn't follow up? Well, the answer is lots. It pains me to realize how many deals I've lost in the past just because I didn't follow up with the seller after they had originally decided not to sell to me. Now, what if you could automate the follow-up using an email autoresponder? Now, I talked to you about those autoresponder services that will allow you to set up a campaign of a series of emails over a given time period. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you have an autoresponder that will follow up with any seller that you don't buy their house, and it may go out to them every quarter or every month or whatever, and it just says a friendly email that says, hey, I'd just following up to see if you're still interested in selling. I'd love to make an offer to buy, and give me a call. I'll tell you what, I guarantee you'll buy a lot more deals if you just simply use that one trick of an autoresponder to follow up with your seller prospects. Now, speaking of selling, before we finish up this training here, I wanted to give you a sample online selling checklist based on all the stuff that we've talked about so far. For instance, you get a house that you want to sell. I recommend doing a video tour. Now, I like to do the walkthrough tours that I'm actually walking through with the camera, but if you just simply had a lot of photos that you can create a video slideshow, you want to get this out to, say, TubeMogul and get it syndicated to multiple video sites. You also want to put your property on your website. In addition to your website, you want to get it syndicated to all the other real estate sites such as Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, etc. Now, you've hopefully developed an email database of buyers, so you want to send an email blast to your buyers list. You also want to post the property on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and other social sites that allow you to get greater exposure. You set up a Craigslist account, so you want to put your Craigslist ad out on a fairly regular basis. And then from your Craigslist ad and other marketing, you want to drive them to your website so they can check out more information about the property and also encourage them to opt into your list. So if you sell the house, then the next time you get a property, you're going to be able to repeat that with an even larger buyer's list next time. So It's a constant process of marketing a property, driving them to your website, encouraging them to opt in so that in the future the email blast will send it directly to that buyer. All right, so let's put it all together. The most important thing I wanted you to get out of this training here is that you are a marketer, not just an investor. So your success as a real estate investor is going to depend on how well you can market, how many leads you can drive to your website, how many of those leads you can convert into prospects, and how well you can nurture those relationships over time to turn those into sales. And when you start using these strategies, your success and opportunities are going to grow tremendously. Think about this for a second. What if you could do something called co-wholesaling? What if you could develop a buyer's list that was so large that other investors would come to you and allow you to earn an assignment fee by selling properties that they get under contract? You know, at that point, you're doing more or less the easy work. They find the deal and they come to you because you have such a big buyer's list that you're able to earn an assignment fee by selling properties they get under contract to your buyers. Now that's a great way to make additional money in real estate. Now you also, by getting good at online marketing, are going to ultimately become a local expert fairly quickly. That means that you're going to start getting lots of referrals and deals that get sent to you because people perceive you as being the expert. So this just opens up opportunities for you to make additional deals from the work of others. All right, guys, that is it. And you know what? If you're looking for more information, there are more videos to come. So I enjoyed putting this presentation together, but you know, I want to be able to give you more. So first thing to do, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WA Home Solutions. Be sure to like our page, get an idea for how we market on Facebook. Also, go to our website at wahomesolutions.com and opt into our VIP early notification list and our other email database list. And heck, steal the stuff that we do. So, you know, we've perfected some of our campaigns. They're working very well. We're also learning about other stuff. So, you know, as we learn, we're going to be implementing that into our business, and hopefully you'll be able to learn from us as well and opt into other investors' buyer lists as well. You know, you want to be able to learn from a lot of different people on how to market online. So that's all for now. I hope to talk to you more in the future, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.